Blue Lock spoilers of chapter 206. Expectation have been released, and the upcoming chapter will be about Hiori, his background story, and the reason why he joined the Blue Lock project. Hiori is the son of an All-Japan silver medalist in judo and a mother who is the second-ranked best high jumper in Japan. Both regret that they couldn't fulfill their dream of becoming first place and therefore decide that their child has to become a top athlete, and Hiori was born with this expectation. One day Hiori was playing on his console when his mom and dad were calling for him. Hiori's mom is talking to him about protein carbs that he needs to take while his dad wants him to study tactics after training. So basically his parents try to create the best version of him there is, physically and mentally. We then see Hiori, who is playing football with some kids while his parents are watching him and cheering on the side, and also give him tips and feedback what he needs to do to improve. And I think everyone who has played in a football club once knows those parents that treat their kid like a professional football player for basically no reason, as they see their child as a big chance to get big money and escape regular life. And I always felt sorry for their kid, who crumbled among this pressure and maybe also just didn't have the talent in the first place, but still got pressured by their parents. So the other kids were going home and Hiori stayed with his parents, but actually wanted to spend more time with his friends, which he obviously wasn't allowed to do in the end because of his parents. And Hiori continued to play football as it made his parents happy, and he also thought that he was loved by his parents because of that. Then one night, Hiori woke up in his room and heard a loud argument between his mom and dad, who were arguing about Hiori's numbers and his diet, as it looks like the numbers were way off according to his dad, and at the end of their argument they screamed at each other that they are going to divorce if Yo won't become the best player in the world. Yo, who was shocked by what his parents just said, fell back down the stairs and his parents heard the noise made by his fall and rushed to him. Hiori was still in shock about his parents who planned to get divorced, and he asked them if they really want to get divorced because of him, but they didn't pay attention to Yo's question at all and just kept looking at his bleeding left foot, and this was the moment Hiori realized that his parents don't see him at all and they are all just interested in his talent, not in him as a person. However, Hiori continued to play football so his family wouldn't be torn apart and started to see his life as a kind of game where he will become the world's best striker one day and find the meaning of him being born on his own. We then see Karasu and Hiori on the field, and Karasu's complimenting Hiori about being extraordinary, as he got a great natural physical ability, a well-owned ball touch, a great soccer IQ, and his left leg kicking sense is hot, but he also criticizes that Hiori's resolve in front of the goal is mediocre, as he seems to play with his mind and body out of sync, because he seems to not like football at all. And Hiori was surprised about Karasu being able to understand and see what Hiori is going through. Karasu replies that he's an analyst and that he won't ever be able to beat him if Hiori keeps playing like this. And I really like that Kaneshiro implemented this conversation, as it shows us that Karasu always had a great talent for analyzing his surroundings, and Karasu will be the major player for Japan in midfield, the heart of the team, who will control the transition between attack and defense. Hiori tells Karasu that all his life he has been expected, which is probably the reason why he doesn't like football. And Karasu is hardly impressed by Hiori's reason and gives him the advice to not worry so much about what other people think of him, and that he just needs to expect from himself first and needs to be excited about himself first. Karasu then left and got Hiori thinking, because without his parents Hiori wouldn't know what he should do. Back at Hiori's place, who was again playing his shooting game, which kind of seems the only way for Hiori by the way to escape reality, we see his parents showing him the invitation letter for the Blue Lock training program and motivating him to join the project. Hiori's eyes went lifeless again, and inside his internal monologue he says that he feels sick and doesn't want them to expect from him anymore. We then see the day when Hiori arrived at Blue Lock, and again inside his internal monologue Hiori says that he's happy to finally get away from them and that the Blue Lock project is his escape, as he doesn't want to go back to that house anymore. We then get back to the present, where Isagi asks Hiori if he wants to train with him, and Hiori says yes, while thinking that he still wants to be here in Blue Lock, and this is how the chapter comes to an end. So Hiori is the next character who will get introduced more to us readers, and Hiori is by far the most underrated character in Blue Lock. I've uploaded a video about him in the past about how good he really is, so if you haven't watched it yet, I recommend you to do so. Alright, what do you think about the upcoming chapter? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe and have a nice day.